All right. Howdy, folks. Dimitri here. Today is blog 4 in our series, the C major scale. The greatest success stories for the Demi-Circle of music address teaching's most difficult challenge by showing how the C major scale's presence is foundational to all music theory. All elements of music compare to that scale. The C major scale is the gold standard. Objectives. Number 1, understand the elements and form of the C major scale. Number 2, review the major tetrachord and intervals. The musical alphabet. The musical alphabet used to label notes consists of 7 letters. The 7 letters are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The series' 8th note is an octave, and the letter repeats. Essential elements. Octave. The distance between one note, like A, and the next note bearing its same name, the next A that's either higher or lower. Interval. The distance between 2 notes. Whole step. 2 dots. We're talking the circle here, between C and D. 1, 2 dots. That's a whole step. And the half step is 1 dot. You can see here between E and F is just 1 dot. That is a half step. Clockwise on the circle is higher. We're going up the scale. Counterclockwise, we're going lower, down the scale. Check this blog's in for more essential elements. Always move clockwise on the circle to measure an interval from the lower note to the higher. When measuring an interval, we are asking how many dots. All the dots on the circle are half steps. The major scale consists of 2 major tetrachords separated by a whole step. The major tetrachord has 4 notes in alphabetical order and the structure of a whole step, and a half step. Check this blog's in to understand the major scale structure. Earlier, we looked at the C major tetrachord on the natural note circle. C to D is 2 dots. 1, 2. D to E is 2 dots. 1, 2. And E to F is 1 dot. 1. It is the first step to building a C major scale. Let's continue our journey around the natural note circle in your workbook. To measure F to G, begin with F and move clockwise. The first dot is blank and the second dot is G. The distance between F and G is 2 dots. 1, 2. Measure G to A. To measure G to A, begin with G. The first dot is blank and the second is A. Blank, A. The interval between G and A is a whole step. 1, 2. Remember, 2 dots is a whole step. To measure A to B, begin with A. The first dot is blank and the second is B. Blank, B. The distance between A and B is 2 dots. 1, 2. To measure B to C, begin with B. The first dot is C. The interval between B and C is a half step. 1. And remember, 1 dot is a half step. The next step to building a major scale is a whole step between the 2 major tetrachords, F to G. So remember, the last time we talked about the C major tetrachord, which was C to F, and now we're looking at the distance between the 2 tetrachords, the end of the first tetrachord and the beginning of the second tetrachord. And that's 2 dots or a whole step. The next step to building a major scale is a whole step between the 2 major tetrachords. And finally, we see that G, A, and B are the last notes on the circle before returning to C. And this is the beauty of the circle, because we start on C and we end on C. So we finished our C major tetrachord, we jumped our whole step to start our second tetrachord, and now we see the notes G, A, B, and then finishing on C. The distance between G and A is 2 dots. The distance between A and B is 2 dots. and the distance between B and C is 1 dot. G is the second major tetrachord in the C major scale. So remember, a tetrachord has, excuse me, 4 notes in alphabetical order, G, A, B, C, and a structure of a whole step, and a half step. Okay, so G is our second major tetrachord. Our first major tetrachord is C. Our second major tetrachord is G. The natural note circle shows the structure of the C major scale. And remember, a major scale is 2 major tetrachords separated by a whole step. And we see the C major tetrachord, C, D, E, and F, the G major tetrachord, G, A, B, and C, and the notes F and G are a whole step separating both tetrachords apart. All right? The C major scale is the gold standard throughout this course. So the C major scale will be the gold standard throughout this course. Our goal here is to use logic and rationale, not just memorize, to understand the workings of music. Again, I'm Dimitri. Next, blog number 5, the G major scale. Get a chance to try it on your own. Okay, if you're involved in the blog series and are active on Zoom and enjoying my private lessons or even the group classes, we'll start building those together on blank circles on the next blog here, and actually build our own major scales. For more information about private lessons and questions, please visit me at dimitri4.com. Fill out the form, sign up for the free intro section. You can find the printed blogs there. You can ask me questions, talk to me, come visit me. Definitions and essential elements: tone, a musical sound versus a noise; pitch, note, the height or depth of a tone; notes are single, not plural. Therefore, a singer can sing a single or a series of notes in a row. Chord is a group of 3 or more different notes, and a scale is a series of notes we recognize together. Major scale structure. All major scales have the same structure: 2 major tetrachords separated by a whole step. When looking at 10 o'clock on the circle, okay, so now we're looking at 10 o'clock on the circle. Okay, there's 12 o'clock. Just like a clock, here's 10 o'clock. So when we're looking at 10 o'clock on the circle, both tetrachords share the same key note. So you can see that the C tetrachord comes around the C, and the G tetrachord finishes around the C, giving them both sharing the same note. That's called a keynote, and the keynote is the name of the key. All right, that's all for blog number 5. Blog number 4. Next up, blog number 5, and we'll start building some scales. We'll do scales, then we're going to do intervals, then we're going to do chords, and then we're going to get on the guitar, and then we're going to get on the ukulele, and then we're going to sing some solfege. And then at the end of the series, there's a complete catalog of all the diagrams and a vocabulary list. I look forward to having you join me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.